Magandang araw, Podmates! Kasama natin ngayon ang historiador na si Dr. Vicente Rafael, isang Pilipinong propesor sa University of Washington sa Seattle na sumulat ng isang libro na sumuri sa popularidad ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Magandang araw sa iyo, Professor Rafael.
Magandang araw.
So sumulat ka ng libro na kalalabas lang itong The Sovereign Trickster, no? Bago ko tanungin kung anong ibig sabihin ng pamagat o yung title ng iyong libro, no? Parang pinaliwanag mo rito na sa kabila ng lahat ng issue at batikos kay Pangulong Duterte ay parang na-maintain niya ang kanyang popularidad. Ano yung sikreto ng kanyang popularity itong si Pangulong Duterte?
I think yung popularidad ni Presidente Duterte, hindi naman masyadong mahirap intindihan. Very simply put, he has the capacity to speak directly to the fears of ordinary people. You know, yung bang he talks as if he's one of them, and because of that, he's able to connect with them on so many different levels, right? So ang pinaka-obvious niyan yung drug war. Iniisip mo, bakit masyadong popular yung drug war? Na ang daming pinapatay, ang daming pinapaslang, gabi-gabi, usually at its height, especially 2016, 2017, 2018, magigising ka, may mga taong patay, may mga dugo sa daan, right? And I think yung isang documentary may showed a brief scene of this, no? I think nangyayari niyan is that nakukumbinsi ni Duterte with the help of the police, of course, because police ang pinaka-frontliners na, no? Na yung pinapatay, dapat mamatay. Right? Yung mga pinapaslang, dapat ipaslang. Bakit? Kasi nga, they pose an existential danger to society. Natawag na existential danger. Na kung hindi sila papaslangin, ginugulo nila yung social order. Right? Ginugulo nila yung sosyedad. At saka yung paggugulo nila, walang tigil. Yung paggugulo nila nanggagaling sa kanilang pagka-addict. At saka yung pagka-addict nila, nangyayari pag nagsasabu sila, hindi na sila tao. Para bang nagiging animal, para bang nagiging, basta hindi na sila tao. Kung hindi na sila tao, di wala na silang human rights. Diba? Kasi human rights belong to humans. Ang nangyayari niyan, pag nagiging addict sila, hindi na sila humans. So wala na silang rights. Kung wala na silang rights, ano sila? Baliwala. Kung baliwala sila, okay lang silang patayin. Kasi kung hindi sila papatayin, magiging danger sila to society. So ang nangyayari, mga drug addicts, para ba nagiging insurgents, natawag na insurgents, no? na gumugulo sa sosyedad. So, makikita mo yung mga comments ng mga tao. Kaya maganda yung yung documentary, makikita mo, iiyak, siyempre yung mga familia ng mga pinapatay, iiyak, sisigaw, they're very upset. Pero yung mga ibang tao, titingin, pagkatapos nun, okay lang, baliwala, back to normal. Para bang ang isip nila, hindi naman ako yan eh. Hindi ko naman kilala yan eh. Mas mabuti nga, wala na sila dito. Wala na yung gulo. Diba? So maririnig mo yung mga tao, pag tinatanong mo, bakit niyo gusto si Duterte? So because he provides security. Pwede na akong umuwi sa gabi. Wala, yung mga loko, wala na, hindi na ako binugulo. Maski na 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock ako umuwi. Okay naman. So as far as they're concerned, this is the bargain that they strike with Duterte. Okay, may pinapatay. But in exchange, meron akong seguridad. I feel secure, right? Pagtatanong mo, hindi ka ba natatakot? So, ang sasabihin nila, syempre natatakot ako. Pero yung pagkatakot ko, yung fear na ini-experience ko, para bang that becomes the basis of my security. Because that fear says something. What does it say? It means somebody is in charge. So the fear does not come from the criminals, from the drug addicts. It comes from the president. And because I trust the president, I accept this fear. And through this fear, I find security.
Para sa iyo, ano yung legacy ni Pangulong Duterte?
Well, number one, the drug war, right? And the style of course, Duterte did not originate this. Makita naman niya under Marcos government by fear. But the other legacy of Duterte, other things that are very difficult to discern. For example, yung kanyang ayuda, right? Yung practice of ayuda, yung unconditional cash transfers, that's become very commonplace. And, no question, it's helped people. Yung PhilHealth niya, yung universal healthcare, which is extended, but again, it's run into problems of funding, corruption, etc. Yung kanyang build, again, it's resulted in some infrastructure development, but it's also resulted in enriching certain people. Kasi alam mo naman, ang infrastructure, that's always the road to corruption. Daming kickbacks yan, daming mga ganyan. Yung policy niya towards China, the way in which he's allowed China to basically run ragged and basically colonize the West Philippines Sea, isa pang legacy yan ni Duterte. At saka makikita mo naman pati yung drug war was far from successful. Pati si Duterte, he admitted it na, had you ended the drug war? Sabi niya, ewan ko, ang dami pang drugs yan. And partly it's because of the fact that for every drug lord or for every drug addict he's killed, ang dami pang natitira.
May nakikita ka bang pag-asa? I mean, obviously, you consider his era a dark era, no? You don't see it as a happy time for the Philippines, which is different from, I guess you pointed out, na napaka-popular ni Pangulong Duterte. So obviously, many people think it's a glorious time. Might be remembered years from now as another golden age, no? Pero obviously, para sa iyong libro, it's not a golden age, it's actually a dark time. Pero may nakikita ka bang pag-asa sa ngayon?
Yeah, first of all, yung qualification ko, I talk about pessimism and how I end the book pessimistically. Pero para sa akin, pessimism is not hopelessness. Pessimism is the beginning of hope. Kasi only when you can look at something in the eye, and you can realize that precisely the darkness, the seeming kind of, the ruins that's been caused by Duterte. Only then can you begin to build on those ruins and begin to think about hope. So pessimism for me is not the end of hope. Pessimism for me is the beginning of hope. Kaya lang, you have to know exactly what are the hopeful places. Kaya nga, I end with, actually, yung ending ko is a little more hopeful with the community pantries. I talk about the emergence of community pantries as spontaneous formations, as it were. Of course, they have a history, but when they did emerge, they emerged during a time of crisis, when there seemed to be very little assistance from the government, and people were feeling hopeless. And all of a sudden, you have these individuals from different places on their own, right, offering mutual assistance. Right? And that's the key. The key is one of mutual assistance, where you take and where you give without having to be asked who you are, where you come from, who is your family, how much can you afford. Yung bang, whatever you can give is fine. If you want to leave something behind, that's fine. So people are compelled to enter into a kind of relationship of mutual generosity. Yung mutual generosity na yun ang key to sort of having a different kind of life, right? Instead of fear that seeks to establish security, what you have is openness. What you have is nagbibigayan, yung pagbibigayan ba, na walang hinihingi in return. Whatever you can give, fine. If you can't give anything, okay lang, sige lang. Instead of having the state govern us, instead of having people on top of us govern us, tayo mismo ang nag-govern sa sarili natin, right? The fact that pwedeng gawin yun in the midst of crisis gives us hope, right? There's a possibility na pwede pala yun.
Hi, I'm Howie Severino. Check out the Howie Severino Podcast, an original for GMA News and Public Affairs. New episodes will stream every Thursday. Listen for free on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and other platforms.